Argentinian or Argentine culture comes from a mix of both European and Latin American influences, along with unique social customs and ways of living. To better understand this culture, I'm going to be focusing on some key cultural dimensions, styles of communication, and even some popular foods within Argentina. Argentina holds a balanced score of 51 on the collectivism versus individualism scale, meaning it balances both me and we cultural traits. According to Marcela Genis in a 2023 article about what makes Argentina's culture so unique, the country stands out as one of the most individualistic countries in all of Latin America. But collectivist values still remain strong, especially within families and social networks. From the 2022 Intercultural Textbook, author Schmidt explains that collectivist societies prioritize loyalty and community, while individualistic societies value self-responsibility and independence. And here in Argentina, we can see a blend of both of those. Family ties are extremely strong, and people tend to trust and rely on their friends and their relatives. Many families and neighbors help each other out during hard times or periods of economic crisis by either exchanging gifts or sharing food with one another. And in a 2018 article about the core concepts of Argentine culture, author Chara Scrope explains that it's common to lean on social networks when looking for opportunities. This could mean you're seeking out a job opportunity or housing, and you can lean on your friends, your family, or your community to help you out. Argentines are also known for being very friendly and hospitable, showing their collectivist side. However, their individualistic side comes in because many Argentines place themselves or the needs of their family before the needs of their community or the country as a whole. Argentina scores very high in the uncertainty avoidance scale with a score of 86. This means that the country is based on structure, clear rules, and predictability within lives and systems. As Schmidt puts it, security is sought through an extensive set of rules and through training. The more structure there is, the better. Argentina's high uncertainty avoidance can be seen through its bureaucratic systems and planned out business practices. The country has a highly bureaucratic government with complex procedures for tasks like starting a business, obtaining documents, or navigating systems like the healthcare or education systems. So, for example, documents must be notarized, agreements are always going to be written rather than verbal, and appointments are typically going to be held in person. This shows strong structure and predictability, even if it does cause some delays in the lives of individual citizens. In an article about behavior in the workplace, author Nicole states that meetings are scheduled 1 to 2 weeks in advance and typically avoided during holiday seasons, such as summer vacation or ski week or Christmas time. Participants are expected to arrive on time and bring any necessary documents to their meetings. And similarly, contracts are always going to be very long and detailed. A contract is not final unless all of its elements are signed, and even when it is all signed, it can always be renegotiated as long as it is, again, in writing. Up last for Argentina's cultural dimensions, the country has a moderate power distance score of 49. This means that while status and authority are deemed important, equality also matters, especially within the workplace. Schmidt defines power distance as how much inequality in power people expect or accept within a society. In Argentina, status matters within the workplace. Author Shahara Joseph tells us that people respect those in higher positions, and it is often expected that executives will keep people waiting when they are holding a meeting. However, there is still a desire for team unity as the decisions are often made after holding group meetings, which shows a balance between both respecting authority and valuing team or group collaboration. And for communication methods, greetings in Argentina vary depending on gender and familiarity with the person you're speaking to. In formal settings, or when you're meeting someone for the first time, Scroop explains that Argentinians usually shake hands and give a small nod of respect. But with friends and family, the most common greeting is just a handshake followed by an embrace, which is called an abrazo in Argentina. In most regions, this is going to be paired with a single kiss on the cheek. When addressing someone formally, Argentines use titles like señor or señora followed by their last name. And then among friends, people usually just use their first names because you're comfortable, you're familiar with that person. There's really no higher level that you need to put above that. Within families, it's common to use titles that describe the relationship. So if you're speaking to your aunt, you would say tia instead of using their first name. Argentines are also known for being very expressive and open within their communication styles. This group explains that they usually ask many personal questions, which are seen as signs of interest and not invasiveness, like some people might think. Interrupting someone while speaking is not considered rude in Argentina. Rather, it shows enthusiasm or passion for the topic. This might come as a culture shock to some people because I know in America, if someone interrupts us while we're speaking, we might think it's rude. But if you go to Argentina and someone interrupts you, that means that they're just genuinely interested in what you have to say. Argentinians also tend to avoid direct conflict. If disagreements they're usually settled in a calm and composed manner. They try to take things from 100 to 0 as calm and as politely as they can. Formality is also used when addressing others. The formal you is going to be called usted in Argentina, and it's used when speaking to elders or when in professional settings. And then vos is the informal version of you, and it's used among close friends and family. In a lot of other Spanish-speaking countries, the informal version of you is called tu, but in Argentina, it's going to be vos, which shows a little bit of a difference between the Spanish-speaking countries. Nonverbal cues are also very important. Physical touch while talking is a common way of showing friendliness. Another thing is that personal space is very limited in Argentina, where people tend to stand closer to you than people would in other countries. Again, that might be a culture shock, but if you're visiting Argentina, someone standing close to you, that's just normal to them. Eye contact is also very crucial to a conversation because it shows honesty and interest towards the person that you're talking to. Up next for food, Jason Piddock, a chef and a blogger, shares a list of some of those popular foods in Argentina. One of these staple foods is empanadas, which are pastries that can be either fried or baked, and they're filled with a variety of stuffings, such as meats like chicken or beef, and then you can also put in cheese or any vegetables. Next, we have mate, which is a traditional South African herbal tea made from the leaves of the yerba mate plant. Mate isn't just a drink, it's also a cultural ritual as well because many friends and family like to drink mate together. They will drink out of the same container and the same metal straw. Mate also holds a pretty bitter taste, so people like to sweeten it up by adding honey or sugar. And then up last, we have a traditional Argentinian dessert. It's called dulce de leche, and it's a sweet caramelized sauce made from simmering milk and then adding sugar. It's popular on toast, on pastries, and desserts, and Argentinians even celebrate a national Dulce de Leche Day every October 11th. So overall, Argentinian culture is made up of a blend between individualism and community ties, as well as both formal respect and expressive friendliness.